A new executive order from President Donald Trump has rocked the immigration debate like nothing we've seen since his first term. The White House is rolling out a full travel ban on nationals from 12 countries, places like Afghanistan, Libya, and Somalia, plus partial restrictions on 7 other nations, including Cuba and Venezuela. That means thousands of people who plan to visit, study, or work in the United States could be blocked at the border starting June 9th. And let's be clear, this is the kind of decisive action Trump promised on day one of his presidency. Critics are already howling, claiming that the ban is discriminatory and cruel, but the administration says it's about national security, protecting Americans from threats that can't be properly vetted. Remember, this isn't the first time Trump imposed a travel ban. In 2017, his order sparked airport chaos and was challenged all the way to the Supreme Court. But this time, the administration insists that they coordinate with agencies to avoid confusion. So what's in this order? Who's on the list, and what does it mean for American national security and global standing? We're going to go ahead and break this down for y'all right now. So my name is Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway. I'm also publisher of the Illinois Review, and I'm a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. So let's dive into the details of this latest executive order signed by President Donald J. Trump, officially known as Proclamation Number to be determined. The sweeping order restricts entry to the United States from 12 nations entirely. And I'm going to list them. It's a mouthful, so give me a bit. I might mispronounce a few of them, so give me a little bit of slack. Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, and it also imposes partial restrictions on 7 additional countries, including Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. All right. So, effective at 12:01 a.m. on Monday, June 9th, 2025, the order cites national security threats stemming from visa overstays and inadequate vetting. The White House says this order is a direct result of January 20th directive from President Trump ordering the State Department, Homeland Security, the Director of National Intelligence, to produce a report on countries that present vetting challenges or have hostile attitudes towards the United States. That report was due in March. It formed the backbone of his new policy, but implementation did face delays, which is why we're seeing it now. And now, with this order signed, Trump's administration says it's moving quickly to enforce the ban. We've got President Trump announcing his ban and all the good stuff. Let's check it out.
The recent terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, has underscored the extreme dangers posed to our country by the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We don't want them. In the 21st century, we've seen one terror attack after another carried out by foreign visa overstayers from dangerous places all over the world. And thanks to Biden's open door policies, today there are millions and millions of these illegals who should not be in our country. In my first term, my powerful travel restrictions were one of our most successful policies, and they were a key part of preventing major foreign terror attacks on American soil. We will not let what happened in Europe happen to America. That's why on my first day back in office, I directed the Secretary of State to perform a security review of high-risk regions and make recommendations.
I will say Marco Rubio is doing an incredible job. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm not trying to comment farm, but I think he's doing a good job. Maybe a couple mistakes here and there. Let me know, guys. Back to it.
For where restrictions should be imposed. Among the national security threats their analysis considered are the large-scale presence of terrorists, failure to cooperate on visa security, inability to verify travelers' identities, inadequate record-keeping of criminal histories, and persistently high rates of illegal visa overstays, and other things. Very simply, we cannot have open migration from any country where we cannot safely and reliably vet and screen those who seek to enter the United States. That is why today I am signing a new executive order placing travel restrictions on countries including Yemen, Somalia, Haiti, Libya, and numerous others. The strength of the restrictions we're applying depends on the severity of the threat posed. The list is subject to revision based on whether material improvements are made, And likewise, new countries can be added as threats emerge around the world. But we will not allow people to enter our country who wish to do us harm, and nothing will stop us from keeping America safe. Thank you very much.
I love that. Sometimes it takes a set of cojones to do that. One thing that stood out to me is that Trump made it clear we cannot have open migration from any country where we cannot safely and reliably vet and screen. That is the heart of this policy. According to the administration, Haiti's visa overstay rate is a whopping 31%. Chad is even higher at 49%. Meanwhile, countries like Libya and Yemen have unstable governments or regions controlled by groups like the Houthis, making reliable passport vetting impossible. These are serious concerns for national security. Critics, of course, are calling on this ban discriminatory and inhumane. They point to the humanitarian crises in Somalia and Yemen and argue that blocking refugees from these countries only worsens their suffering. It also worsens their voting history and the number of congressional districts they get, but let's not get into that today, will we? Anyways, but the administration says that the priority to be American lives saved and safety. The Supreme Court, backed by Trump's authority to implement travel bans in the 2018 Trump v. Hawaii case, a key precedent the White House is relying on to defend this present move. But let's also not forget, it's about consistency with Trump's first-term immigration policies. Back then, the so-called Muslim ban caused protests at airports and endless legal challenges, but after multiple revisions, Supreme Court upheld the president's authority. That's why this new ban is written carefully, with exemptions for green card holders, certain student and work visas, and anyone deemed to serve U.S. national interests. But that doesn't stop the Democrats and progressive activists. They're already planning protests in places like Miami, where the Haitian community fears economic hits from the loss of remittances, and Columbus, Ohio, where Somali families worry about family separations. Meanwhile, Republican leaders are praising Trump's move as a common-sense step to protect Americans. Senator Tom Cotton even called it a common-sense measure. I think that's common sense to most of us. If they've got terrorists and all sorts of crazy stuff, we don't want them here. Again, guys, if you got value from this report, hit subscribe, hit the comment button, like, all that stuff. It really helps our metrics, and I really want to grow the channel and do well. So let me know how I'm doing. Do I suck? Do I not suck? Stick it in the comments. I take all criticisms, good or bad, and I try to do better. Except if you're a crazy right-winger and shut up, then I tend to ignore those. So, where I stand on this travel ban. America is a republic, and that means the first duty of the president is to protect the citizens of this country. We cannot afford to gamble with national security just to appease open borders, activists, or foreign governments. The fact is, if a country cannot reliably issue secure passports or lacks a central authority that can vet its citizens, it's a risk to let people in without proper screening. We see that everywhere. We see that in Europe. We see that in the United States. And I know it sounds tough, but in this republic, the rule of law matters. Sure, there's going to be legal challenges. The courts are going to debate this again. But the Supreme Court's 2018 ruling is on the side of the presidential's authority. And as conservatives, we know that protecting our homeland comes first. This is about putting Americans before politics. And Trump isn't just doing this for Republican people. He's doing this for the Democrats. He's doing this for the people that don't think that they need it. They're going to say, oh, everybody needs to be here until your kid's murdered. Come on. And if that means some people can't come here until the government fixes their messes, then so be it. That's called leadership. And that's exactly what I voted for. I'm sure that's exactly what you guys voted for. Remember, guys, stay vigilant, stay informed. Remember, our republic's strength is in its borders and its people. God bless.